the closer this feels, the harder these fucking videos are to do. I wish I could express how much guts and nerve it takes to do these fucking videos. All for God, the Father, the Great Spirit, whatever you want to call them. I'm just watching here and I'm just trying to think to myself, what is the criteria into getting into heaven? I think it's being yourself and learning. But if you don't learn, how can you truly know this is all fucked up? Sean O'Malley, you guys into the UFC? Sean O'Malley trashes Sean Strickland on saying he looks to kill people in the octagon. Instead of saying, hey, one of the weird things about Sean Strickland is he kind of says stuff like this. I'd like to ask him why he thinks that way, at least. Like, what makes him... Because, I mean, in a certain degree, you got to go into the octagon being an animal, right? You got to know if you don't give it your all, you're probably in trouble and you might die. But you also got to be willing to give it all and be willing to die. But I don't know, like, someone like Sean Strickland seems to be more honest and forthright and than Sean O'Malley in my eyes. At least you know who Sean Strickland is. You can decide whether to hang out with him or not. I mean, you know what you're getting. It's Sean O'Malley's wife. Did she know she was getting a husband that was gonna fuck around on her all the time once she had this fella's baby? She just don't care. As long as she's in the spotlight with the sugar and getting the sugar. Like, what kind of respectful human being allows their significant other to go and be with other people? As long as there's just not a relationship. Because that way their lifestyle isn't threatened. Is that the way people really want to live these days? They're willing to live a lie just for gain, eh? And get theirs in this world. I'm so full of, like, I need to drive or something and just give a good yell or scream or just, like, let some rage out. There's so much shit pissing me off. Like, I'm sitting here. I'm watching Henry Hildebrandt look like a damn hero on the TV. And these idiots on the other side hate him so much, they're not even willing to look into what he stands for. Instead, they'll sit there and call him a fascist and a bigot, and he's looking like a hero because he's saying the right things, but his actions dictate another, especially claiming to be a man of God. Now, would a man of God act the way that the Church of God does? Pretending to be apostles? and that they are the only ones to get to God? Does that even seem remotely right? Did Jesus say, hey, there's going to be a whole bunch of men and they're just going to tell you what to do and dictate the way that you... It's ridiculous. You should look into this little club, Church of God. Ray and Stevie, and like, they're on video telling people that if they don't get enough money, they're going to take their church away from them. And their pastor. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like out of this world. And the kids that have come out and said shit against them, like, it's no wonder if you're a fucking victim in locked inside of that system, and you're seeing what the people have to go through that have tried to escape. No wonder you're keeping your mouth shut. Life's just better that way. Keep the beatings away and fucking grown adults. Grown adults fall for this shit. You need no man to get to God. The only man you need, or a woman you need, is inside of you to reach God. There ain't nobody taking your salvation away unless it's you. And I gotta watch Henry Hildebrandt say he's a touchable, tangible Jesus. So therefore, I am your way to get to heaven. No, Henry Hildebrandt is your way to hell. Like, this little narcissist wants love so desperately, he's willing to fool people to get it. That's how pathetic these people are. They need your love. They need it. They can't exist without sucking your life force out of you. Like, if there's no devil, narcissist would be the way to fucking get yourself in some whole bunch of fucking karmic problems. I'm thinking. Everybody's got a little narcissism. But, oh man. But then again, sometimes people take confidence as narcissism. Because, like they say, Donald Trump's a narcissist. You know, he's confident and he's willing to back up his words. Does Joe Biden back up his words? He can't even admit that his country is in a shitstorm. He's convincing them, and Jean-Pierre, Kareem, or whatever her name is actually convincing you guys they're doing a good job, rather than saying, hey, all the president's men are together right now, and we are trying to find a way out of this. Somehow we have fucked this up. Like, how can you people not see? Like, you couldn't screw it up unless you were doing it on purpose. I mean, or am I wrong? Am I delusional? Are we not on the brink of nuclear war? Like, is the Ukraine a delusion? And I try and explain to people, hey, Ukraine has a Berezov battalion. I'll look into it. Klaus Schwab, his father. Hey, like my psychiatrist, when I tried to explain to him, I was like, hey man, why don't you at least like listen to me and prove me wrong? Like on this whole Zelensky, perhaps. I think he's got the world. He's in my country right now. He's got the whole world fooled. This is just what I think. He's got the whole world fooled that he's the good guy. And he's got a Brazil battalion. And you can go check that out for yourself, Doc. Oh, Carl, don't be ridiculous. He's Jewish. Hey, Doc. Wasn't Hitler as well? Just saying, my bro. Like, but nothing back. Nothing like, hey, you got a good point there, Carl. Hey, Doc. Sometimes they fool you. Hey, Doc, did you know that Hitler was, I believe, 2-time Man of the Year in Times Magazine? Man of the Year. The Americans thought so highly of Hitler that he was Man of the Year. Not once, but twice. Imagine that. How'd he fool everybody? In fact, how did he fool his own people? If you would have asked his own people back then, do you think they would have admitted to being fooled? Do you think if you went up to him and said, hey, you're being fooled right now? Oh, Hitler, he's trying to pull a fast one on you people. You're not doing the right thing. What do you think they would have said to you? Probably would have turned you into the Gestapo. But don't worry, there was probably some good ones in there. Maybe you would have bumped into a few good ones that actually kind of seen what was going on and tried warning everybody at the beginning, but now they kind of had to blend in or they'd be in trouble. Maybe you could bump into one of those. But I think for the most part, the mass majority would have been Mein Kampf. You know what I mean? Anyways, I see my wife's in my comments. And then there was a fight about the vehicles. But anyways, we're going to get to this comment here. She mentioned something about because I'm worried about the kids and I'm transphobic and like I want a better world for everybody and I'm just not concerned about what's going on in my house because if I could make a better world, I would make a better house. You know what I mean? Anyways. So she's wrapping the trans thing up with the abortion thing. And I'm trying to tell her that they're two different things. The abortion thing came from the Supreme Courts. They made the ruling to let the states determine what was going on. Some of the states are trying to keep it out of the schools and stuff like that. Like I hear Florida is trying to. But like it's an agenda. Like I'm trying to tell her that it's an agenda. Like Bill Gates funds all this stuff. That funds these programs. Why is he so into this? Like, I keep saying, like, he's got to be on those flight logs. Just my opinion. I mean, his wife divorced him because of Epstein. or had something to do with Epstein. Like to me, I think, like, I'm allowed to think that Bill Gates is into some sicko shit. I mean, if we don't question things, then people never get caught, right? Like, that's the thing. We're allowed to have opinions. If I ever got to the status that I think I'm going to get, then Bill Gates could, come back and tell me and show me where I'm wrong. Because in my head, I just can't wrap around the thought of Ghislaine and Epstein going to jail for a crime where you haven't, the victims aren't even allowed to talk about who they set them up with. Like, there's no crime unless there's a buyer, right? Like, who's the buyer? And nobody cares. Like, why is Jimmy Kimmel not being tweeted like every second? Hey, bud, give an explanation on why some of your friends are weirdos, and it's being implemented. It's not the fact that people say that he is, it's the fact that he hides away from it, and that he makes fun of people saying they have brain damage if they bring up the flight logs and don't even bring Jimmy's name up. That, to me, like, there's something wrong with Jimmy Kimmel's head to not want to know who's on those flight logs. Unless maybe my own name was on there and I really didn't want to pay for my crimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can understand why I think this way. It's not illogical thinking, right? I don't know. I know I go all over with conversations. What else do we got going on in the world today? Oh, end of the US dollar is here. Inspired.
People get angry.
Like,
and they don't...
let's just stop.
Okay.
You'd have to be kind of an idiot not to realize that, well, our dollar is fucked because there's going to be a whole bunch of nations that are backed by gold. And we got no backing. And, well, what do we have of interest that China would want? Because we're low on supplies for ammunition and weaponry and stuff. And, well, we get our supplies from them. Like, if our dollar ain't worth anything, and we getting supplies? Huh? Has anybody figured that out? Like, you ever feel like you're being set up to lose? If you opened up your ears and opened up your heart and you took a look around and went, wow, maybe things just aren't as I see them as, and, well, for the future of our children, because, well, if we don't change now for our children, there is no future. Because that's the only way for a future, is through the children. But we're all stuck wanting to be better than each other, rather than encouraging each other to be better by leading the way ourselves. Hoping and praying one day that somebody even works harder than they do to make the world a better place. How would you want to hold people back? Like, these elites, they just want to fucking own everything. And we're just allowing it. All the small businesses wiped out through COVID. Now all these brand new brick stores going up. Like, even in my town, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of new ones. Like, just own everything. And then they get to dictate what's in our food. Oh, But then again, no one cares about the derailments and the water and like, I think we've really fucked the water up. I've shared videos before where people are like going down the rivers and they catch people dumping buckets of shit into the water. This is just like in Alberta or something like that. Like, who would fucking do that? Who would purposely pollute the water? You gotta think those motherfuckers are gonna be coming out doing videos, trying to do everything to make themselves feel better in the awakening, saying, hey, I was a part of this, I was a part of that, holy fuck, I'm sorry, I needed to feed my fucking family, blah, 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 blah. I didn't realize the impact of fucking what I was doing. I just thought dumping toxic chemicals into water was just the right thing to do, and that... well, I'll just tell my friends and family to drink bottled water and everything will be okay because the Nestle Corporation that I get my bottled water from, they really love us. Like, they love us so much that they charge us for our own water and tell us we have no rights to it. It's on video. You should see this cocksucker talk. Oh my goodness. The Nestle guy, he don't fucking like you. He don't like me. He wants to own everything. Motherfucker has all the rights to the water, and you filthy little vagrant that's gonna pay him for his... Oh, see what I mean? This is the world I gotta live in. Like, you gotta really check this Nestle guy out. He's a real fucking cunt stain. Holy shit. Anyways, HOPI origin story. It's like 422. Many Native American people share the belief that they emerged... I'm slow. Emerged from the earth. This is the HOPI story. Oh man, nah, I gotta stop this because something's going off in my father-in-law's bedroom and I gotta go.